I don't have a joke to open up this review with, but that's okay. This movie didn't have a story.
Fantastic beasts and where not to find them.
I'll take it. That's all right. That one's okay. Everyone's me, Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
And this is our post-Geekout reaction for something Grindelwald. I don't even...
The Crimes Against Grindelwald. Fantastic Beasts. Harry Potter's Wizarding World.
I don't care.
No one...
Oh my god. Listen, I'm not coming in here like hating on Harry Potter.
Not
at all. Harry Potter is a great franchise, and I actually really liked the first Fantastic Beasts film.
But this is not the first one.
This movie made me go from liking to I am done with this whole franchise in one goddamn movie.
Yeah, I wanted to like this movie.
In the span of 2 hours, which did not feel like 2 hours. We got out here, and I was expecting it like, oh my god, we gotta get home and feed the dog. I didn't know it was gonna be that long of a movie. What was it, like 7:15, 7:30? 6:40. I was flabbergasted. This movie is roughly 2 hours long.
I figured it would be.
It feels like 3.
Yeah.
It feels like it just keeps going and going.
And there are hardly any Fantastic Beasts, which is what...
There's like nothing of anything in this movie.
Yeah, and it's like... The whole reason why we liked this franchise was because of the beasts, and they're like hardly any.
I will
in here.
admit I don't remember the first movie all that well. Like throughout the first like half hour of this movie, I kept going, "Oh right, that guy, the guy who's like the orphan and the witch boy and all."
Yeah, but
okay, all right. But I do remember that our review of this when we did, I kept saying like, "Listen, the Fantastic Beasts part is great." But I don't really give a shit about all this like government conspiracy of like the witch trials and like the Sid or Kelly in here and all that.
And the same thing applies to this movie, but
that's all this movie is.
Yes.
They took the part that we didn't like about the first film and made an entire movie about. But here's the thing, that would still be fine. You could still take a part that we didn't like about the first movie and make a whole movie about it, as long as you could make a movie about it. This might very well have the worst storytelling I have seen of any movie this year. I don't mean the worst story. I mean the way the story is told, because this entire film feels like someone who had read an entire book and then tried to summarize very poorly to you that book, but there was a second book in between this one and that first one that you read, and every now and again they had stuff and be like, oh, but, okay, this thing, because the whole movie is just, all right, and then this guy meets up with this guy, but then that guy had this, oh, well, this thing happened to that guy. But then they went over and they went to this place here, and then they were talking to this person, who's that person. Oh, well, they've got this backstory here, and you know what? I really need to stop for like 10 minutes here and tell you all about Gryffindor and all that stuff here going on. Oh, let me explain to you that part of this story in here. Okay, now you understand everything? Okay, we're back to this part. So it's revealed that this person's brother is actually, wait, hold on. Wait, I still don't know who that person is, but
there is an unnecessarily complicated story, and it all is just for nothing.
I don't even think it is unnecessarily like the story itself is not complicated. The way it's told is such a jumbled mess that I was just constantly like, who the fuck is this person? Why is this person here with this thing? What's happening over here with who is that now? Why are you introducing them and when we're like half an hour left in this movie? What is happening here? This movie is, it is so frustrating.
It's like...
I don't even know how long, because again, time stopped meaning anything to me at a certain point in this film. But for what I'm going to guess was the last half hour of this movie, I constantly just had this look on my face of... just because the, last act of this film, I think last act, because this thing is just a series of events happening... I was just constantly looking at this like, wait, so we're doing this now? Who is that? You know in the trailer, at the end of the trailer, when Average Joe Baker guy, when he meets up with the alchemist, at the end of the trailer, it's, oh yes, I'm an alchemist, I'm immortal. Oh wait, don't look a day over 307, or whatever that lie is.
Yeah.
That is the first time we see that guy, and it's like 15 minutes till the movie ends, and it's revealed the house they're staying in belongs to that guy. I'm like, wait, I don't even remember seeing this house up until this point. You literally just went into someone's house with no explanation to it.
And we didn't even see that person in that house until, like...
Literally, they have to take someone to a place, and then they're just in this place, and there's no explanation of what this place is, or how they got into this place, or why they're using this place, or how they know the person with this place. And then, like, 15 minutes later, after they've been in this place this whole time, that dude just magically appears out of nowhere. It's like, oh yes, hello, I'm an immortal alchemist. Like, are you connected to anything, or are you just a random alchemist just walking around?
I just need a reason why this house is here, that's all.
It really does feel like they were just like, fuck, gotta get something out there right now, man. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna try and explain the plot of this thing.
The thing is, there's so much exposition at the very end, and it's all... I'm just honestly tired, and I don't even want to hear or talk about the movie anymore.
Yes, and the sad part is, I kind of feel like the end of this is when the story is at its best, because that's when I could actually kind of understand the story.
Like, oh, it's all starting to finally come together.
But you stopped caring. And man, we saw this at the Alamo. And at the Alamo, they have waiters coming around, they serve you food, and then they bring you your check when the movie's about to end. I remember when they brought me the check, I just went, oh no. This thing isn't going to have an ending, is it?
Nope.
There's no way you're gonna wrap this up. If you're bringing me the check now, no way.
Yeah, they want to make this like the next Harry Potter, but it just does not have...
It does not
have all the magic and ironic because this is all about magic. It doesn't have the magic of Harry Potter.
I kept thinking that too because early on in this film, they go into the wizard world. And I kept thinking back to all the Harry Potter films and how whenever they went to that wizard world, like there'd be posters with stuff moving around. There'd be stuff flying everywhere. I constantly in this movie had to keep going, so did they go back to the human world? Or
yeah, that's the thing. And it's like, the wizarding world, like Harry Potter, like the wizard world in the Harry Potter movies, they were like brightly colored and there was fun and magic, but like everything is so gray in this movie.
Which it was more gray in the first film, but still when they were in the wizard world, it felt like shit was constantly happening and magical stuff. It literally just feels like they're in the same like human world here. Like I constantly had to look at this and reassure myself, no, they're in the wizard place right now. Like, just remember that. They're in the wizard place right now. They're not in the human world right now. I know it looks exactly the same.
No, like, here's the thing, is like, in the Harry Potter series, like, it started off bright and colorful and fun, but as it moved along, it's like, okay, things are starting to get serious now. We need to be darker now.
But with serious and black.
Oh, you.
It was right there.
But with Fantastic Beasts, it's just, all right, we're going to jump into dark, serious stuff because we don't have time for whimsy and magic, which is stupid.
Well, the first film was more, like, quote-unquote, realistic than the Harry Potter franchise because the first film for Fantastic Beasts, it wasn't, hey, person from human world goes into wizard world. It was wizard goes into the human world because strange stuff is happening in the human world. Here they're in the wizard world, and it's like, this is more boring than the human world from the last film.
I feel like because, like, these are adult wizards, it has to be more serious, whereas Harry Potter is like, oh, kids, so they can have more fun, and it's like, that's bullshit.
Well, also, yeah, because Newt is way more childlike than Harry Potter
ever was,
and even as an adult. However, I'm fine with them going, well, that's what's going to separate this from Harry Potter. We're going to make this more, like, serious and more adult. I'm fine with that, but it's so boring and, again, jumbled. Mm-hmm. This story is so just random shit.
It is.
You know the human guy who was Newt's friend in the first film? Yeah. I really like that guy.
Was it Josh or something?
Like Fogler, I know is the actor's name.
Yeah, we'll just use that from now on.
But, remember how at the end of that, he had his mind wiped? Mm-hmm. So he doesn't remember anything about the wizard world? Here, Newt is hanging out in, I think he was in London?
Yeah, he was in London at the time.
Yeah, and yet for some reason, the sister of the lady he had a crush on back in New York is now in his place in London. I don't know why she's here, but she comes into Newt's house in London, and she has her boyfriend, the guy from the first film, the human who got who had to have his mind wiped, and he's just there, and like, oh yeah, guess what? It didn't really work on me. She filled in all the blank spots that got taken out. Now I remember everything. Also, I've been brainwashed by her, so I'm in love with her. Oh, spell broken. Guess we're going on a new adventure now. And I'm like, why is the lady from America in your place in London? How did she get him from America to London without anyone knowing this? Is that really how you want to reintroduce this guy? Just, hey, guess what? It didn't work. I'm back, baby.
Like, I understand, like, he was a popular character and they wanted to bring him back.
You want to bring him back, fine, but don't just, guess what? Didn't work. I'm here. Not even in New York. I'm over in London, baby. Yeah, God, no. Why is he even living with the sister of the girl who he had a crush on, who apparently didn't work out with because she saw a photo of him in a newspaper next to another lady, so she thought he was getting engaged?
It doesn't matter.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so...
I don't want to talk about this movie.
I really don't.
No.
This might be our shortest post geek out of the year because I so don't want to talk about this thing.
I just was like...
It's not fun.
No. And that's what I hate most about this movie. It's supposed to be fun, but it's not.
The entire point of this franchise, even when Harry Potter got really dark, it was still, like, amazing.
Yes. It was exciting, and this wasn't.
Also, can I just say, I'm done with Johnny Depp.
Me too.
Like, I am, not even, like, the shit that went down in his first life.
Oh, no, same.
That is a whole reason in and of itself to be done with the guy. But even if that wasn't even in the equation, just, nah, man, you just show up to wear a funny costume and then you don't even do shit with it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. He is so just like random villain number 9.
Yeah, random evil wizard number whatever who wants to destroy the humans because we haven't seen that plot before.
And I don't know what his reasoning is for it. I guess he thinks that wizards are just better, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, basically, it's Wizard Hitler, like...
That's what and he keeps bringing up, like, World War II in here.
Yeah, he's like, oh, look at all the evil things humans can do with their high tech. That's why we need to, like, fight them and everything. It's like, you're just as bad with your fucking magic. Go fuck you, like...
You literally summoned dragons at the end of this movie. It's like... Which that was like the one part of this in which the whole like we're going to be like darker and more real world because that's what this franchise is meant more to be. That's the moment in which it actually worked, in which like he was warning them about World War II coming, and I was just kind of like, see, that's actually kind of an interesting thing to do here.
Yeah.
And that was it.
That was it.
But man, we haven't even gotten into the subplots upon subplots.
There are too many subplots, and
they don't know how to introduce any of them.
And like hardly any of them like even matter. I think only like 50% of them matter.
This movie,
or not even.
Man, this movie, it was written by J.K. Rowling herself, and J.K. Rowling, she is a great writer. But this, every now and again, a great writer who has created an entire world in their own head, they will fall into this trap where they know everything. But they forget they're explaining this to people who don't. Because this really felt to me like if...
Like, I understand there are, like, spin-off books and everything explaining all this stuff, but, like, there are casual fans who haven't, like, really read that stuff.
Imagine if you watched Iron Man and then went into Infinity War. No, maybe not that. But, like, Civil War. Imagine if you went into that one right after that. I was like, who the fuck is the guy with the arrows? Why is this lady dating a robot? What's going on with that? Like, that's what this felt like to me, because there's so many characters who pop up in here, and they have established relationships, and it's great to have characters with history to them, but we need to be introduced to that history, and man, so many characters will pop up, and it feels like they're important, I guess. Kind of, but we don't really get any kind of indication of why.
Yeah, and even when they have, like, flashbacks or anything,
it really feels like she realized halfway through this movie, oh shit, no one knows who this major character is at all. Let's stop the entire movie for 10 goddamn minutes to go in here with flashbacks to them. And it's like, it's too late. It is too goddamn late for that.
Too late for the flashback. It's too late for the exposition dump that they had at the end. Holy shit, 2 of them.
Yeah.
2 exposition dumps at the very end before the final confrontation with the evil wizard guy.
And
it's
the
just
editing in many of these moments of exposition are awful because there are people just teleporting around. Not because they have teleportation spells, but just because how that wasn't that person there with that, now they're there. And then this part.
I couldn't tell because they were all like zoomed in so close on their faces that I could not even see anything else around them.
I am glad it's not just me.
I thought
in the opening action scene of this, it's supposed to be awesome. It is like a carriage being driven by like nightmares across the sky and like a big prison break in the middle of all this. I had no idea what was happening.
I know. The thing is, it was so dark, and there was lightning, so just dark, flashes of light, things whizzing by, and I'm like, wait, what is? Which way? What? How?
Yeah, it failed absolutely.
Not only that, but like because we were like on the side. Our seats were on the side and we're so close to the screen, like my neck was like constantly craning. I was like, ow.
I will admit, if you had like center row in like a big theater, you might have been fine, but we were in the second row, a little bit to the side. The rest of the movie we didn't really have that many problems with, but whenever we got to the action scenes, I was like, I have no idea what's happening right now.
Yeah, it's like, my neck hurt from like staring at an angle, so...
And you were closer to the center than I was.
Yeah.
So yeah, alright. But yeah, there is a lady in here, and she has a brother that went missing, and there's some detective guy walking around, and we don't know anything about what he's doing until the very end of this movie. It felt like he was a throwaway character until the end when he's a major character, and then there's a secret that the lady looking for her brother has tied back into another character, and oh my god. Hey Peach, our dog is coughing.
Yeah, I think she just ate her food too fast.
She ate her food too fast. All right, well, I'm glad that she paused me because I was getting a headache trying to describe it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And again, what I just described to you, none of that comes into play until like halfway through this movie.
That's the thing, is like, it drags on so long, and it's not until the end where you get all this information like bombarding at you, and it's like too much, and it's too late, and you just don't care at that point.
Yeah. Man.
Oof, I don't even know if you go into spoiler talk. I don't care that much.
There's I really don't care. There is one kind of spoilery thing, and it has to do with the sister of the love interest lady from the first film, who in the first film felt like an established character, and in this one she just feels like love interest lady. Mm-hmm. But she's not the only one who got worse.
No.
The sister, I thought she was great in the first film. She was a fantastic character in the first film. In this one, she is... I mean, it starts off with her basically brainwashing the guy to marry her.
Yeah, which is messed up.
That's messed up. And then from there, she just becomes sad, and then she disappears for 90% of the goddamn film. And then she comes back with a huge character arc, and then it was like, too late. Mm-hmm. Oh, man, we did not see the appropriate progression of this character. She felt, like in the first film, she felt ditzy, but like she still knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
In this film, she felt dumb.
It felt, she had like heart. She was caring in the first movie. In this movie, she just felt like very selfish.
She felt selfish, but also like the ditziness nature of her. In the first one, it came off as charming, and again, like, no, she knows what she's doing. This is just her attitude. In this one, she really just feels dumb to me. Like, it really just felt like she is an easily manipulated, just, God. All right, sorry. But, God, yeah, and again, the love interest lady who in the first film was such a strong character, in here, she serves zero purpose other than to be the lady that Newt professes his love to. And the sequence of him trying to explain to her he's not actually engaged to someone, that's actually his brother who's engaged to this person. It's just he was staying next to the lady in this newspaper picture. All he had to do was just go, I'm not actually engaged. My brother's the one engaged. The newspaper made a mistake. And he drags out that explanation.
Like, I get it. You're the socially awkward guy who'd rather hang around animals. But, like, geez, that's just...
It's so simple. Like, he just... It's not like I'm trying to explain this to you, but we just can't seem to get the right moment to explain. She pauses for like 2 solid minutes of him just going, I know that you're happy for me, and I'm happy that you're happy, but I don't want you to be happy because I'm happy, because this thing is this thing, but the thing that looks like this thing is not actually this thing. Is like, just say the fucking words. Just fucking say it. No one is that socially awkward that you could get out there all of this, but you couldn't get out there, I'm not actually engaged. No one is that. Like, I know socially awkward people. I've been friends to many socially awkward people. If you are capable of talking to someone enough that you can tell them all of this that means nothing, you could get out there I'm not engaged. That's it. And, goddamn. All right, sorry.
Well, now that subplot is explained.
That subplot is resolved, yay!
Alright, one subplot down, several hundred more to go.
Yeah,
Like,
alright, fine. Let's give the score right now before we get into spoiler stuff. Score right now, this thing kept dropping and dropping.
Yeah.
And talking about here, I'm gonna give it like a 3.5 because this honestly reminds me of when we saw Jurassic World, and I was like, and I remember seeing that and thinking, it's bad, but it's not that bad. But then as we talked about, I just got pissed at that movie. It's kind of what happened here. I didn't like this movie, but the more I think about it, the more I talk about it, man, I really started to hate it. So I'm giving it the same thing I gave Jurassic World, a 3.5.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it the same thing. I really wanted to like this movie because I was hoping for more Fantastic Beasts, but there weren't, so it's
Also,
like
I
a very
love the
misleading
characters.
title.
I love the characters
Yes,
from
the
the first
title.
one.
Yes, the characters in the first movie were great,
They
but
were
they just
so good, and they're
they
so
didn't
bad in this one.
They just didn't know what to do with them. That was the thing. It's like
so bad in this movie. Like, they're all just non-existent or just whatever they need to be in this film, even if it doesn't match their character in the first film. Oh my god. So, spoiler time. Alright, fine. The subplot about the lady who's engaged to Newt's brother, who is a big mucky muck at the Center for Magic Control, which you think if this lady used to work at the Center for Magic Control, she would know that that's who the lady was actually engaged to in all this. I don't even know, like, what happened to this lady, because it seems like she's not working for the Center for Magic Control anymore. It seems like now she's like a rogue agent, but for what purpose?
I don't know.
Why? What are you investigating on your own? Are you working for someone else? What have you been doing this whole time? But it's revealed that the lady who was engaged to Newt's brother, who apparently used to have a thing for Newt back in school, that's a whole, like, just stop the whole movie to give you that plot. She was the sister to the detective guy who felt like he meant nothing in this entire movie.
Yeah, I honestly thought he was like a throwaway.
I thought he was a throwaway character.
Like, oh, surprise! He apparently has something to do with his jumbled up plot. Like,
until the last, like, 10 minutes of this movie, he had as much impact in this film as any of the other guys in Boulder hats working at the Center for Magic Control. Like, I thought he was just random guy who worked for Center for Magic Control. But it's real that that's his brother, but his mother got brainwashed by some other evil wizard who we haven't been introduced to yet, named Lestrange. I don't know that guy. That guy, maybe he's in the books again?
Like, evil wizard number, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Again, that is a huge problem with this film. A huge problem with this film is that it is a film only for the diehest of diehard Harry Potter fans, because it would almost be like if they made a Star Wars film that was just about expanded universe characters, but rather than giving you chapters 1 through 3 of the expanded universe story into a film, they gave you chapters 7 through 9 of a 20-part storyline, and there was no explanation.
or just like certain chapters because they're
just
definitely
randomly all over the place. Yeah, that's what this feels like. It's like, yeah, the diehard Star Wars fans would be like, but I know this guy, and this guy, and that person over there. Nobody else in the audience knows any of this. You know what it also reminded me of? The Warcraft film. Which I kind of think the Warcraft film is okay, but I don't play Warcraft.
you saw that, I didn't.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I don't have any say in
But
that.
I haven't played Warcraft. So a giant chunk of that film, I was just like, I don't know any of this. I am totally lost. But then I went to work the next day, and a coworker of mine who was a big Warcraft fan, he said, yeah, I really loved it, but I understand that the film didn't explain anything to anybody. That's what this film kind of feels like. It's like, if you know all this stuff already, maybe it'll make sense to you. But to me, it was just, oh yeah, I guess we need to explain this thing. Here's that thing, and now we gotta go on to this thing. Oh wait, I forgot with that last thing from like 20 minutes ago. I should have said that at this point. So now I'll say it now at this point. But yeah, so his mother got brainwashed to have a child with other random evil wizard we've never been introduced to before. So this lady who's married Newt's brother is the daughter of his mother and evil wizard, but then evil wizard guy went on to have another child, and now detective guy wants to kill that child who they think is Ezra Miller from the first film, and Ezra Miller is looking for his birth parents, and again, this is literally how it's explained in the movie.
Yeah, and like, I zoned out during the explanation during that movie, and while you're talking about this, I'm still zoning out because there's just too much complicated
I'm
information.
still like halfway into this thing.
Yeah, I'm like,
But so, basically, what's her face, the now daughter of evil wizard guy is now taking her half brother, who's also the child of that evil wizard guy, and they were taking them on a boat to America, I think? They were on a boat to somewhere.
I honestly thought it was the Titanic because it fucking sunk.
It did sink. I felt like I was gonna say, is that the big reveal? Is that gonna be the big reveal on this thing? But she wanted the baby to stop crying the night, so she took the baby and exchanged it with another random family.
That was actually quiet.
That was actually quiet, and that baby then ended up dying when the boat sank. So her own brother that this guy's been hunting this whole time was already dead the whole time, and she's been living with the guilt of having killed her brother. But Ezra Miller is now the baby that she exchanged at birth, and I don't know. And so then they got to America and dropped him off at the orphanage. But so he then was the child of random family that was on the boat. And again, that is just a massive just dump of information. We didn't really know who any of these people were until this exact moment with like less than half an hour in the movie. Mm-hmm. Like, we got some backstory on Lady Mary Newt's brother. Like, they stopped the movie to give us that flashback, but then she's kind of gone for a giant chunk. Then she comes back, and then she gives that backstory, and I was like, I only know you from that flashback from 20 minutes ago. You mean nothing to me. This whole movie means nothing to me. By the way, at the end, Ezra Miller is revealed to be Dumbledore's brother. So that's a thing.
Also, Dumbledore had a thing with the evil wizard.
I already knew that because they had, that had already been talked about, like, in spoilers and stuff.
Yeah, well...
So, yeah, if you've, like, been reading the stories about all the backstory on this, which, again, I don't know if, like, it's said in the books or anything, but, again, like, yeah, I feel like you did need to be following, like, news stories about this as, like, J.K. Rowling would just say, hey, this is what's gonna be in the next film. It's like,
no, I felt like J.K. Rowling was like, yeah, Dumbledore's gay, but we didn't include it in the story because it didn't matter. And then everyone was like, oh, we want more gay representation. It's like, okay, fine.
I understand.
Here's his love interest in this movie franchise. There you go. There's your representation. Be happy.
I understand wanting to actually see that.
Yeah.
Because, if you come in here and say, hey, guess what? That character was gay. It's like, well, I read all 7 books and there was zero way for me to know that in there. It kind of has to actually come up in I'm sorry, I'm not going to accept character is gay because I read it in a newspaper article that exists in our reality, not in the books themselves. Mm-hmm. It has to actually be in the books.
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right. Good that you actually put it into one of these stories finally, eventually. Kind of, sort of, because they still don't say it.
Yeah.
They still don't say it. They still don't show anything other than them holding doing this with their hands at one point.
Yeah, and making a blood pact not to kill each other.
It's revealed they're doing that so they can cast a spell. So still, it's like, I can totally see people watching all these movies and going, wait, Dumbledore's gay? Like, it still feels like, but you're still copping out on this.
Yeah, but it's like, at one point he says, we were closer than brothers, so it's like, maybe he hinted at it, but...
I'm sorry, it's 20 goddamn 18. It's... Just fucking say it. Stop being chicken shit and just say it. oh, but then people might not be happy with this anymore. It's like, people already burn these books because it has witchcraft, and the target audience that would get offended by Dumbledore being gay is already pretty much not reading this book.
Although, considering, like, the time era this took place, like, around the 1920s, and they wouldn't even allow wizards to marry humans, I guess it would make sense.
Oh my god, just move on with this. All right.
That's the whole movie right there. Just move on.
Oh god, I'm done talking
I'm done,
about
me
this.
too, yeah.
I don't care about
We
this
don't
anymore.
care.
This, man, it's interesting. Jurassic World is definitely a worse movie than this. Jurassic World is awful.
But it was fun, at least, in certain parts.
I don't even know if I could do that. But the Jurassic Park franchise was dead. Like, I mean, it sold tickets, but they weren't good movies. They stopped being good movies a long time ago. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. Jurassic World was fun. God damn, that's the loudest motorcycle I've ever heard. Jurassic World was fun. I did enjoy that film. I had a good time with it. Same way they have fun at Fast and the Furious film. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. That's the one that I was trying to talk about earlier. That film is fucking awful. I hated that movie. But Jurassic Park, that franchise had been dumb for a while. This movie, it really, again, the fact that it made me just go, I don't care about any of these movies at all now. That's something.
Yeah, it's like, I just want to rewatch the first movie and that's it. It's like, I honestly did not even want that to be a franchise. When I heard it was like, oh, they're gonna ruin it.
Feels like, yeah, it feels like, okay, the Fantastic Beasts thing is gonna be about that guy who wrote the book that they studied in class. Awesome, just spin-offs. Just give us spin-offs about this crazy character over here.
Honestly,
this
if it was a TV series or a Netflix series, like Fantastic Beasts, I would watch it.
Yeah.
Like, just like learning about all these new interesting animals and like in Newt going on these adventures and everything.
That's what we want from Newt. We don't give a shit about Newt stopping Wizard Hitler. We don't. How stupid is the phrase I just said? Dear God. Alright, yeah. Okay. So that is it, everyone. That's our post-Geekout reaction for whatever this... I literally said before we started doing this, I'm not even going to look this up on IMDb. I'm not going to look up any of the names of characters. I'm not going to look any of this up.
It's just not worth it.
It's not worth it. I don't want to talk about it. And this movie wasn't interested enough in making me care about any of this. So, yeah, fuck it.
Yes, sorry, just don't care.
Yeah, come back next week when we have a lot of stuff to review.
And hopefully movies we actually do care about.
I don't know, the early reviews on Wreck-It Ralph aren't that great.
It can't be any worse than the Emoji Movie.
There's other animated, I guess, internet things.
Yeah, internet stuff.
Fine, alright. Well, here's our own Fantastic Beast.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.